What is hiding in you that you have not seen? What strength are you underutilizing that you're letting that weak thing whip you like that?
And that's another thing. They tell you how you're supposed to feel. So you are feeling that way.
Do not care if the rest of the world does not bet on you. Bet on yourself. It's the bet that matters the most.
If you believe you've been called to be necessary and not grossly irrelevant, then everything you do, everything you see, everything rises and falls on your perspective, your perception, your viewpoint. How do you see this thing? What happens? When your perspective, your perception diametrically opposes your reality, if you are going to give and grow and evolve and attain and become, everything rises and falls on your viewpoint.
How long will you live without knowing what you've got? If you know who you are, then you know who you are not. If you don't know who you are, somebody can ascribe any identity onto you and you will morph into whatever they want you to be. And that's what has happened with a whole lot of us. Some of us have been 10 or 12 different people depending upon who we were with. Because we don't know who we are, we become whoever they want us to be. And then when they leave us, we are confused because we have no real understanding. We like to think that life comes to us in courses.
This is hour one. So when they had us doing this simple thing that guys are struggling with, Boku 2 is just launched in the first, can't hurt Boku 2. And I looked on the instructors' faces and it looked like someone had just, and I looked at my guys in the broker and I said, hey, guess what? We on space. They're gonna think about us tonight. Start fueling off of that. We start fueling off the fact that, man, it takes 1 second of energy to steal everybody's. And then you have all the energy you need. That's all you need. You need to look at someone's eye.
But it does not. In reality, sometimes you got tennis shoes and they all hit you in the same weekend. You may not like what you're going through. You may be stressed and overwhelmed. You may not be comfortable with your situation, but you got what it takes. What do you do when life does not seem? How do you deal with it when it is not what you expect? When you find yourself with mighty visions and mighty goals dealing with people of mediocrity. You're going to make it out of this storm. You will survive this attack. You will get through this stage in your life. I know I'm made of some good stuff. I can tell by the burdens I bear and the load I carry and the stuff I endure. I shock myself.
He's like, oh God, man, I don't want to go back to the next round. And you feel like, my God, I can fight all day. That's what taking souls is. But you have to have the will, the heart, the courage to go that distance when you're exactly jacked up. You have nothing left to give and give more. I started learning the mind a lot, how to get myself jacked extremely fast, like in a horrible environment when everybody's miserable. I learned how to really find strength in the misery. When everybody's suffering, everybody's all poopy pants and their mentality's down and everything, I started just like, my God, this is where I shine. And I started using all that misery for tons and tons of drive and motivation to then lead people further. Because you can get a lot of power through misery.
Show me somebody that hates to work out, and I'll show you a man that almost lost his life, and the doctor said if you don't work out, you'll die. One sees it as cumbersome. One sees it as a problem. Another one sees it as a privilege. He sees it as his second chance. His new lease on life that I have to work out. I get to work out. I get a chance to live a little longer. So one person sees the gym as a prison, and another person sees the gym as a passport.
If you look around, successful people are those who put aside important moments in their lives, who deprive themselves of many things, and who never let their guard down. A constant, dedicated, persevering person always manages to fulfill his dreams. Ask yourself, if others have done it, Why can't you? A winner is one who stops at nothing or no one until they reach their desired goal. Be a winner, despite all the sacrifice that it costs you today to fulfill your dreams.
But that's the only way that I can grow. And I'm glad that he loves me enough to risk our friendship to tell me what I need to hear, not what I want to hear.
High performers are not dissatisfied strivers. They're not. They're happy. High performers are happier than their peers. We all believe that to get the top, it's gonna be lonely at the top, and we all believe you have to grind and kill yourself to get there.
Yeah.
And that's completely wrong, and the data proves it worldwide, which is, I think, just overcoming a lot of people's biases about how you work today, because right now, especially today, like, grind on social media is so popular.
Or hustle.
Or hustle. And by the way, none of the top 15% of high performers worldwide identify with those words. They literally don't. We asked them, we did a whole keyword analysis.
Yep.
This was actually pretty cool. And high performers explicitly say, these are the 3 driving feelings if we said there was a high performance state.
One man came within inches of losing his life, and another man has never come within 100 miles of losing his life, and he only works out twice a month. And somebody else works out 4 or 5 times a week. The reason why you only do it once or twice a month is because you don't see the value. Your viewpoint is either your advantage or your assassin. Your viewpoint will either get you going or get you killed. We see a storm, we see rain, and we think depression. We think I can't do anything instead of thinking, grass can't grow without rain. Roses don't bloom without rain.
You will see that at the end of the road, the reward will be satisfactory for you. Hold on to your goals and don't let them go. You can achieve them. You may fall many times along the way, but the important thing is to get up once again until you reach your goal. Dreaming and not fighting for your dreams is something that makes no sense. It's like swimming in a pool without water. Useless. Weak people are those who fail before an obstacle, before a stone, and more. You are not part of them. You are a fighter. Enterprising, tenacious, strong, and with many more values that will take you to the top of success.
It's driven from these 3 things. Number 1, full engagement.
Yes.
Number 2, joy.
Yes.
And number 3, confidence.
Yes.
That's what they relate with, okay? That's where it's coming from. It's a joyous journey, not a dissatisfied one. And I had this conversation in the book because I'll kind of maybe frame it this way. Each of these chapters opens with a vignette of somebody I worked with or a situation that I was in that demonstrated high performance. In this particular situation, I'm walking on a stage, thousands of people, after a very famous musician was out there and was telling the audience that person's secret to success. Remember, thousands of people.
Yes.
Their secret to that person, their whole speech, their secret to success was never settle. Never settle. Nothing is enough. Never settle. And never be satisfied. Never be satisfied. Always demand more.